In 1993, I was living in Tokyo, Japan, working, raising a family, and I was invited to the Jewish Community Center in Tokyo to commemorate the life of a Japanese diplomat by the name of Chiene Sugihara. Sugihara was a unique individual, and what really struck me, it was a story about him saving Jews in Kaunas, Lithuania. Indeed, he issued visas illegally behind the wishes of the Japanese government and saved over 3,500 Jews. Some people say he saved as many as 6,500, but certainly the proof would estimate somewhere around 3,500. This story had such a profound impact on me personally that I started to do really my own research and my own learning into trying to understand a little bit more about this period in history, this period that had such a major impact on our own DNA. Over a series of meetings that I had over the coming years with Holocaust survivors and people involved both in the Second World War as righteous amongst the nations as well as soldiers, my own life was changed dramatically. It was something that I felt was so important that my children should learn these stories. I knew so little, and yet how many other people knew so little? How many other people felt ignorant? How many other people were naive to the stories of not only our people in Poland and Lithuania, but far beyond? In 2007, I went on my first March of the Living. It was something that I had prepared for in my mind for so long, but actually when I arrived there, I really wasn't prepared at all. And certainly the lessons that I learned were about educating young people and trying to broaden minds to our history, not only of the Holocaust, but 1,000 years of Jewish history in Poland. In 2010, I moved back to the UK, and at this time I decided that I wanted the UK to participate in this global journey called March of the Living. March of the Living had been set up in 1988 by a group of Israelis, and the UK had really never participated in any major way. Yet 11,000 people gather on Yom HaShoah to march from Auschwitz to Birkenau, and I felt that the UK not only should participate in this journey, but actually should broaden this into a real educational program for young people. My focus was always going to be on education, educating university students, young adults, and taking them on a 5 or 6 day trip around Poland with top educators and Holocaust survivors. Learning the lessons of our community, learning the lessons of the diverse and rich nature of the Jewish communities across Europe for 1,000 years was one part. Learning the lessons of how hatred and intolerance can become so ingrained into a national socialist government was another part. The lessons that we learn are so important for us all. Fighting racism, fighting intolerance, fighting hatred. And when we go on this journey and seeing what actually happened to a people is so important to come home so that you can actually go onto your campuses and get involved in a world where we want no racism, no hatred, no intolerance. And yet, since the Holocaust, since 1945, what we have seen, Yugoslavia, Rwanda, Cambodia, and even today, genocide taking place in parts of Africa, in parts of Asia, and in parts of the Middle East. I urge all of you to come and learn those lessons. This is so important for everybody. This is my story. This is our story.